now with 20% more honey. Try a delicious Nature Valley Oats and Honey Crunchy Bar with more of the honey you love.
Del Taco asks, is it a quesadilla? Is it a taco? Yes, it is. Step 1, create toasted melty goodness with queso and cheddar cheese grilled between 2 flour tortillas. Step 2, stuff it. Try Del Taco's new stuffed quesadilla tacos with grilled chicken, crispy chicken, or carne asada, topped with lettuce, tomato, and more cheese. Get them guacced up, too. Del Taco's new stuffed quesadilla tacos are cheese-tastic. Order them on the new Del Yeah Rewards app. Price and participation may vary.
Taco doodle doo, it's breakfast. Time to wake up and smell the queso. If you're into cheese and then a little more cheese, try the new double cheese breakfast tacos from Del Taco. Starting at just $1, they're made with both cheddar and Del Taco signature queso over scrambled eggs. They're also available with hash browns and bacon or hash browns and beef. The new double cheese breakfast taco start at only $1. Only at Del Taco. Double the cheese, double the Del Yeah.
Some participation may vary, so during breakfast hours only.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm the girl from that alien movie you watch on demand. Our worlds have been brought together thanks to DirecTV Stream.
Why are you whispering?
Because the alien will hear us.
Maybe let the alien know you can get DirecTV Stream with no annual contract.
Seems pretty excited by that, actually.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at DirecTV.com.
I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I made the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
I am the sauce.
Who brought the sauce?
Spill the sauce? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills and messes quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand.
Who brought the sauce?
I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I made the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
I am the sauce.
Who brought the sauce? Okay.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
I'm with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and he can't take it with him. Well, I went to work and found Ray, who's 40 and takes medication to control his high blood pressure, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. That's way more coverage for a lot less than what he was paying. If SelectQuote didn't shop for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote and to find out how much you can save, call 1-800-506-6149. That's 1-800-506-6149. 1-800-506-6149.
The new Nebia by Moen Quattro Shower Head offers 4 unique experiences to choose from, designed to soothe, clarify, relieve, and cleanse. An indulgent shower experience engineered to use up to 50% less water. Water designs our life. Who designs for water? Visit Moen.com to learn more.
On Saturday, October 23rd, from 2 to 6 p.m. at their Fulton Avenue store. Join their plant experts and enjoy silent auctions, local food, raffles, and more. They're offering deals and giveaways to all attendees, so stop by and expand your jungle. Mark your calendars for Saturday, October 23rd at Exotic Plants, located at 1525 Fulton Avenue. This is a party you don't want to miss. Get your deals and goodies at 1525 Fulton Avenue, Saturday, October 23rd. Exotic Plants.
Hi, this is... If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 916-758-8660. That's 916-758-8660. I can pay cash and close fast. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and any location. I am not a realtor or associated with a realty company. I am a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind-in-payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junky houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 916-758-8660. That's 916-758-8660.
Take advantage of this very special offer. For just $9.99, you can get their top-of-the-line durable urethane paint job. They'll match the color of your vehicle and repair the scratches and small dents caused by rocks when you drive. All for just $9.99. That's your whole car painted for just $999, which will make your car look new. You'll also get their 4-year warranty. Mako of North Highlands, the professionals in auto body and paint work.
And stress, as well as bring out positive emotions. Today is Tom Petty's birthday. If he would have been with us, he would have turned 71 years old today. And the Orion and meteor shower peaks tonight and through the overnight. The best time for viewing is after midnight. There happens to be a break in these clouds.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton at Big C Sports, coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C. And a lot of good boys around the country. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond, in London, England, as well as Paris, France, of course. You good over in Canada and Africa, the Big C tribe. But there's no one we love more than the good boys around the country, in the land of the free and the home of the brave on the beautiful November the 20th, 2021. Round of the Bordes, bonjour, the Vidi Vidi Vici is all fair. In 11 Wars, I say, let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show, powered all around the world by 17 podcast applications. Oh my goodness, there's so much to count. Google, Alexa, Spotify, Speaker, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, a lot of applications carrying Big C Sports, Castbox Podcasts, Deezer Podcasts, Podcast Addict. You ever been an addict for something? Podchaser, GeoSavant Podcast out of London, England is all fair. In 11 War, Podtail, Podchaser, Hubhopper, Stitcher, Radio Online, Luminary Podcast, and a lot more podcasts are coming all over the universe. Really appreciate that. All you got to do is say welcome to the show, and it shows up on some electronic device, even for those who have ankle bracelets. If you got an ankle bracelet, speak to it and just say play Big C Sports Podcast. It's all fair in level war. I love paying homage to my family legacy. On my mother's side of the family, my great-grandmother called her Mamo, the matriarch of the family, kept everybody together and food in the belly. And then my great-grandfather called him Pop, former Negro League baseball player, gave them some praise, doing all they could to keep the family strong. And he's like the best moonshine in the history of the universe. He would always say, boy, get out of that yarn. I told you, get out of that barn. All fair level work. And then my grandmother, Mud Deer, she was a seer, a wonderful business person, as well as my grandfather, Hezekiah, also a seer and wonderful business person. My mother, who started a Head Start program in North Central California, all fair in Leavenworth, also led our Little League baseball team to the championship of the universe. Really appreciate that. As always, saying rise and shine on my father's side of the family. My grandfather, his name was Albert Curry. He was a pastor and also had 2 service stations in Oakland, California. Great business person. And my grandmother, Alberta Curry, who helped my grandfather with a building of a church and also 2 service stations in Oakland, California. Actually built 2 churches. You thought TDJ, he was TDJ before TDJ. And my brother Todd, that's why I speak so loud. I channel his voice. He would always say, good morning. It's all fair. And Leavenworth, really appreciate that. And so our Ancestry.com, you don't have to pay for it. It's all fair in Leavenworth. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show, SP-nominated Big C Sports Podcast. No scripts, no 3-way teleprompters, no producer in my ear. Some people say, yeah, Charlton is painfully obvious. I have so much respect for what my son Malcolm does for me, sending me stats on NBA basketball. You know, NBA starts out tonight with a full schedule. Last night, the Lakers knocked off the loss. Actually, they were knocked off by the Golden State Warriors. And then Milwaukee also got a win to open their season. But I always say I honor Malcolm and Daisy. Daisy used to help me set up sporting events for college programs when they came to the West Coast. Really appreciate that. And then Big C with all of his knowledge. I say I produce the show. Number 2, I direct the topics. Number 3, I broadcast the shows. I do all the sound effects. Excuse me, did I break a concentration? Or guess who's coming to dinner? I do the commercials outside of what the agency does. I provide all the stats. That's how the Dodgers got that grass slab last night. You would have thought that they were going to be whipped up on by the Braves. But so much for the Tomahawk Chalk. They got the big win last night. Mookie Betts is also amazing. And then I do touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way. What's more appropriate for baseball with the Houston Astros and the Dodgers, as well as the Boston Red Sox and and also the good old boys Atlanta Braves. The pitch swung on, hit me, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. All Friend Love and War. Then I upload every show to 17 multiple podcast applications and 4 TV applications. I never missed a show since starting Big C Sports September 12, 2015. Give me some praise. I know you want to praise. A lot of you guys missed shows this year. I never missed a show since 9/12/2015. Always pay honor to God. One of my favorite verses is Genesis 13:15. God said, "For all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever." It's all fair in love and war. Just like $27 million is all fair in love and war. The book of James 4:2 said we have not because we ask not. So if you want something, just ask. The answer is either yes or no. And it's always no if you don't ask. That's why I love asking. I will never stop asking for people. Please, when you get a chance to help a veteran, you know people going through issues. The Veterans Crisis Hotline, been giving that out for about 3 years since Big C started it. They are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. Everybody knows somebody going through something. Pick up the phone. Call 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. If you go online, go to, think about this, veteranscrisisline.net. It's not just for veterans, it's for everybody going through something. And we all need somebody to lean on. I heard a song about that back in the day. It's all fair and level. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me. Think about it. When you're not strong, sing it with me. And I'll be your friend. Come on. And I'll help you carry on. Whoa, it won't be long. But I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. That's for all of our veterans and first responders. I love giving that out. 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255 or go to veteranscrisisline.net. Because we all need somebody to lean on. Also very happy. Hey, that was pretty good. For a guy who never had music lessons, that was pretty darn good, if I might say myself. Also very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly TV on Dish TV, Direct TV, ATT Universe TV in the first place. San Francisco Giants, okay, regular season. Don't you guys laugh down in LA. Regular season, the Giants were in first place until they got cheated on the check swing. Like the check swing, it's all fair and love and war. But when you reach out to the Giants, just tell them Big C sent you. The goal is simple. I want my Major League press credentials for next season. All fair and love and war. Also, for those of you in real estate, we have the real estate dating app. You can swipe left or swipe right when you're trying to lower your mortgage payment, or you want to get the house, the best home loan. We even have some stated loan programs. Go to the BigCSports.pacwm.com. Most of our loans are underwritten by Rocket Mortgage and United Wholesale Mortgage, the number 1 and 2 lenders in the country. On the wholesale side, it's all fair and love and war. Goal is simply to recruit 1,000 agents and brokers. Really love working with real estate agents to help put people back in properties, just like McDonald's does it, State Farm does it, Nike does it, car dealerships are doing it, sports teams are doing it. Watch TV and real estate work for you. 800-772-8624, and you can definitely find out what's going on in real estate. Also, I want to say thank you to Xfinity Comcast TV and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe, just like in Genesis 1:3. God said, play Big C Sports Podcast. Oh, hold on. My producer messed up on that one. I am the producer. But God said, let there be light. Open your cell phones and say, play Big C Sports Podcast. You will see our apps pop up, and there'll be a guy screaming at the top of his lungs, play Big C Sports Podcast. Give me some praise. It's all fair and love and war. Also, I want to say this segment sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% on this game. Sports fans, when you're watching the big game, you got to eat the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meats. You guys should know it by now. In rumor has it, it tastes better in your mouth than it does in your hands. I guarantee it. Most things in life taste better in your mouth than it does in your hands. If you don't believe that, let some snot run down your nose. Now, a lot of kids understand. Sometimes parents don't understand, but kids understand when snot's running down the nose. They don't wipe it off. They let it they taste it. Because there's a lot tastier in your mouth than it is in a napkin, if that makes sense. It's all fair in love and war. What's all those exotic meats? I love for you people involved in fantasy sports, go to Super Draft Pro Fantasy Sports by Caesars Entertainment, the all-sports purpose website, superdraftpro.com/Big C Sports, featured in Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Sports, Associated Press, RotoWire, and Sportico. Subscribe to unlock the exclusive fantasy games and sports betting experiences of Super Draft Pro, the official fantasy partner of Caesars Entertainment. Go to superdraftpro.com/Big C Sports. It's all fair in level war. My goodness, we have a lot of stuff to cover. Got some football to talk about on the NFL level, also Major League Baseball. Tonight's officially like tip-off for all of the NBA. The Lakers got their they got their tail handed to them last night by the Golden State Warriors. Still waiting on Klay Thompson to get back in the saddle. But it's all fair in level war. Really have a lot to talk about today. We're going to take what's called the Big C Pause, also known as the Big C Timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk about what's happening in the sports universe. In the words of the former California governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we are back for the Big C Pause, also known as the Big C Timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on applications all over the universe. Tonight for a lot of NBA basketball teams. They've done all the trades in the offseason, all the talk about who's going to be the best player, who has a chance to win an NBA championship this season. It's all fair and level war. The Indiana Pacers at the Charlotte Hornets, they have already tipped up tonight in Charlotte. Chicago Bulls are on the road taking on the Detroit Pistons, and so looking forward to those teams seeing if they can have a better success to the start of the season, unlike last year. The Washington Wizards, they are up in Canada playing the Toronto Raptors. It's all fair and level war. And when you think about all of the over-unders, I'm going to bring up the over-under in some of these teams, but the over-under for the Pacers and Hornets is 229. So keep that in mind for you sports bettors. The over-under for the Bulls and the Pistons is 192. So either a lot of good defense or some bad offense play in that game. The Washington Wizards at the Toronto Raptors, and the over-under is 223.5 for you sports bettors. I have the Boston Celtics. They are playing the New York Knicks. These games are already underway. The over-under is 219. That should be a lot of scoring in this game. 219 is the over-under with the Boston Celtics at Madison Square Garden taking on the New York Knicks. The 76ers without Ben Simmons at the New Orleans Pelicans, and the over-under is 223 points. That means there's a lot of good scoring on offense. I'm going to take it to Cleveland. This is for you. Cleveland's at Memphis. Memphis should have a good team again this year. Cleveland, not so much. The over-under on that one is 218.5 points. The Houston Rockets, they had a bad season last year. A lot of bad things happened to Houston. They lost James Harden from one. They're at Minnesota against the Big Cat, and the over-under in that game is 231.5 for you sports bettors and prop bettors. We have the Orlando Magic at the San Antonio Spurs. The over-under is 212. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they're at the Utah Jazz. The over-under is 221.5, so 221.5. So keep in mind with that game up in the Wasatch Mountains of Utah. The Denver Nuggets at the Phoenix Suns. Man, these two teams were knocking on the door for a home court advantage in the Western Conference playoffs last year. The reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic, wasn't able to get him out of into the NBA Finals last year, but they're on the road against the Phoenix Suns. The over-under is 224.5. The Sacramento Kings, they're up in the Great Northwest taking on the Portland Trailblazers, and the over-under in that game is 235 points. So a lot of people are going to be raining 4-3. They're expecting a lot of good things to happen in that series. I'm excited about NBA basketball. It's right now happening with the NFL football. Of course, college football is already underway, and we know everybody has their own thoughts about what happens in NBA basketball. But last night, it was the Golden State Warriors. They were able to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. And you know, everybody had their own feeling about LeBron James and can the Lakers and the Warriors do their thing. I think the Warriors showed that they can go on the road and win. They're going to be a good team. And Steph Curry got his first triple-double since 2016. Isn't that something? That is amazing because he's a three-point shooting specialist, but triple-doubles haven't always been there. The Warriors with a 121-114 victory over the Lakers, so they're 1-0 in the season in the Western Conference. And you know, it's amazing because the point spreaders And Las Vegas, they picked that LA would win because of LeBron James and, of course, Anthony Davis. But it's all fair and love and war. When you think about it, Steph Curry, they stunned the Lakers 121-14. And when you think about the opening night in Hollywood, it went well for 3 quarters for the Lakers. Superstar LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. But it was all about what happened. The LA native former MVP, Russell Westbrook. Curry's a 2-time MVP, the only unanimous MVP in the history of the NBA. Give that brother some praise. I wish I should say Charlton Curry's the only unanimous MVP in the NBA basketball podcast. I can't say for podcast, all fair and love and war. But he had 21 points. I mean, that's a yeoman's work for him. He normally gets about 30. 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists for the Warriors. They rallied from 10 points down to knock off the Lakers 121-114. King James had 34 points, 11 rebounds, and then King Davis had 33 points and 11 rebounds. No other Lakers scored in double figures. So that tells you they still got to get their groove back. I know everybody's thinking, well, the Lakers can turn it on and turn it off. Not so fast, my friend, because when you get used to falling behind like they did in preseason, and I know everybody says, oh, regular season, they can turn it on. Not so fast, my friend. And everybody says the Lakers are the favorites to win the Western Conference. Who knows? We don't know that. Nobody knows that. But what I saw last night, Golden State, they didn't even have the Splash Brothers. Thompson didn't even play. And so you want to always pay in mind that they had a good season last year, and they got some injuries in the playoffs. But all it takes is a couple of bad players. And if you have a couple of bad players that have a sprained ankle or a sore thumb or pulled hamstring, you got to realize it can change in a hurry. The Lakers were up over the Suns last year until what happened in the Davis went down. LeBron James was injured also. So it's no guarantee that the Lakers are going to be the best team in the Western Conference. They might be the number 3 team in the Western Conference. I still like what Golden State is going to be able to do. And you got the thoughts with the Bucks knocking off the Nets last night. It was 127-104. They got their championship rings. They got everything that people want to see in the championships. You give them some praise because it's tough to repeat in the NBA, and they were not even the team that people thought were going to win the NBA Finals last year. They've always been up there as far as a team that's going to be favored to be in the top 3 or 4, but they didn't get it done. I mean, that's my opinion. The Lakers are always going to have that trouble. But in my opinion, when I think about it, how they handled the Nets last night, Milwaukee looks very strong. And Giannis, King Giannis, playing like an MVP that he is. I don't like that they don't call him the king. They should call him the king. But had a big game start to finish. The Bucks celebrated their NBA title with a home win over the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving, who cares? They have a lot of dysfunction right now on that team. The pregame festivities poured over into a 124-104 win at Pfizer Forum. And I like what I saw. Milwaukee climbed out of a 19-point lead in the first half. Actually, in the first quarter, they scored 37 points. That's a lot of points. The offseason picked up where they left off. They were right around getting close to 130 points. Chris Middleton dropped in 20. Pat Connaughton dropped in 20 points. And, you know, when you have that team that can support Giannis and everything that Giannis is able to do for the Milwaukee Bucks, they're going to be a tough team again. They are solid. I really like what they've done, but they're not just about standing around and watching Giannis drive to the basket. When you get a chance to watch Milwaukee play, they're playing more of a team basketball this year, and that's going to help them going forward. Everybody says it's Giannis and everybody else. 32 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. That's what King Giannis did. So give Giannis some praise. Give him praise, praise, praise. I wish Milwaukee nothing but the best as they try to defend their NBA championship. Wouldn't it be something if they end up playing the Lakers in the NBA Finals? I'm still saying that it's going to be the Brooklyn Nets. Not because it's an easy pick when you have that much talent. Sometimes it's about chemistry. And if they're not rocking with the right chemistry, it might just hold them back from what they could be. They could be such a dynamic team, but it's not about what you could be. It's about what you do. Talk is cheap. And them good boys had a good tongue lashing when they realized that talk gets you no place. That's why with all the talk about everybody's going for the Lakers to come out of the West or Brooklyn to come out of the East, it's not guaranteed. There's nothing guaranteed. It's all fair in level war. I want to say, are you ready for some baseball? Of course you're ready for baseball. Baseball on Wednesday night, Hump Day 2021 NLCS and LCS. They're in full swing. Major League Baseball. The Dodgers struck back like the Milwaukee, what was it called, Star Wars? The Empire Strikes Back. Well, the Empire struck back last night at Chavez Ravine. When you think about it, against the Atlanta Braves on Tuesday. A comeback win. However, the Braves still lead the series 2-1 heading into tonight's Game 4 at Dodger Stadium. The Empire struck back last night. Da, 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 da. Come on, guys. Da, 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 da. Houston also struck back. I know they're in the thick of things right now, but you think about it. They got it done. I'll get into it later. But in the American League, the Red Sox and the Astros are now tied at 2 apiece heading into Wednesday's game of Game 5 today at Fenway Park. There's so much great things happening in baseball. I hate giving out scores because games are still underway, but I really appreciate what happens with the Dodgers and showing that they can still trust Kelly Jensen at times, but not so fast, my friend. They can trust him, but it's always a talk of, can he still deliver in the clutch? Of course they say he can, but this baseball team for the Dodgers, they were almost down 3-0. And then what happened? The Empire strikes back. Da 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 da. The Empire struck back last night at Chavez Ravine with a beautiful come-from-behind win. I mean, it's amazing. I just love baseball. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on. The Dodgers and Braves. The Dodgers, a Game 3 must-win, 6-5 win over the Braves. The Braves still lead the series 2-1, but the Dodgers have an unhealthy relationship with adrenaline. Everybody's on an Adderall or whatever they call it to keep people in their groove. It explains that the team has shown the ability to get off the mat over the last couple of seasons. When they appear to be down and out for the count, down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. It was like, down goes Dodgers. The Dodgers said, not so fast, my friend. And when you think about, just as you start to sound out the count, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, the great Cody Bellinger sends a jolt of electricity through Dodger Stadium. The pitch swung on, hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friend. And the crowd went nuts at Chavez Ravine. That's what baseball's all about. And that's what I love about baseball. It feels like the Braves were going to take this series. Had they won Game 3, they may have just swept them. But Bellinger connected, taking the Braves reliever Luke Jackson out the right field. Hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. Just like the former MVP who slugged through a baffling regular season in which he hit just 165. But the anticipation is amazing. You know the rest of the story. Chris Taylor got a single, stole a base, the great Mookie Betts doubled in, the go-ahead run, and the Dodgers won the pennant. The Dodgers won the pennant. The Dodgers won the pennant. Oh, they didn't win the pennant just yet. But that's what it felt like. And then Kenley Jansen, they tried to hit him out from the bullpen before a thundering crowd to close it out. And the crowd was amazing. You could feel the anticipation at Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine. It happened so fast. The Braves had a commanding lead. And then, next thing you know, the Dodgers win. So I still have the Dodgers winning this series, just like they did against the St. Louis Cardinals in the playoff game. They did in Game 5 against the San Francisco Giants with the best record in Major League Baseball. And then last night, the Dodgers win. The Dodgers win. They always win. It just seems like they're built to win. If they were to lose, it's just an accident waiting to happen. But it's all fair and level war. That's what I love about it. You want to go into the Red Sox and the Astros yesterday. The series tied at 2. While the borderline pitcher Nathan Eovaldi threw Houston catcher Jason Castro a 1-2 count with 2 outs in the 9th inning would define Game 4 of that 2021 ALCS. Boston had plenty of opportunities earlier in the game to pull away for good. Throughout the evening, the Red Sox were unable to capitalize, going 0 for 9 with runners in scoring positions. You can't go 0 and 9 when you have runners in scoring position while leaving 11 men on base. I mean, you got to trust Dusty Baker. That good old boy found a way to get them to explode. They had so much going against them. The crowd was going nuts in Boston. Boston also failed to receive much from their bullpen reliever, Garrett Whitlock, the biggest lockdown pitcher of the relief corps this season. Gave up the game-time home run in the Astros second baseman, the great Jose Altuve. Give Jose Altuve some praise. Evaldi allowed 4 runs after the curveball to Castro did not go his way after the Evaldi struggle. Alex Cora turned to Martin Perez, who promptly allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, and a walk-off and have in 1 inning pitch. Isn't that something? So now they got their thing doing again tonight. I don't get too much into what's going on in scores, but if you don't like the Dodgers and the Braves or the Red Sox and the Astros, then you probably don't really like baseball. I love what's going on in this series. Both series have so much drama. There's so much energy. Doesn't matter if you're a fan of the Dodgers or a fan of the Braves or a fan of the Red Sox or a fan of the Astros. If you're a fan of baseball, you gotta love what you see. I won't give in to the whole thing, but give it some praise. Give both the ALCS and the NLCS some praise. The Dodgers and the Braves' first pitch already happened just after 5 o'clock on the West Coast. Now think about it. The Braves are 88-73 overall. The Dodgers are 106-56 overall in the regular season. The Astros come into the regular season 95-67, and the Red Sox 92-70. All I can tell you is the Empire has struck back. The Houston Astros have liftoff. I'm not going to get into the score, but total runs over-under is what I'm going to start adding to. The over-under for total runs in the Astros and the Red Sox is 10.5. The over-under for runs scored in the Braves and the Dodgers is 8.5. Last night was 6-5 Dodgers. But the over-under, pay attention to that, because both of these franchises, in the Dodgers and the Braves, they can flat out hit the baseball. Also for the Astros and the Red Sox, I know the Red Sox have been blasting the ball lately, but last night may have changed something in that series. I'm not predicting who's going to win, but I'm just saying there's a lot of good things happening in the world of baseball, and the Big C Sports love being all over it. It's all fair and level worthy. Give me some praise. I'm going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. And when I come back, I'm going to talk more about what's going in the NFL football universe, in the words of the former California governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. All right, we are back for the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 17 podcast applications all over the universe. And I really do appreciate the way things are growing with Big C Sports. I'm going to do a Big C Sports NFL, the Power 32. I'm going to count down from 32 to 1 in the universe. All fair and level are number 32. They will be number 33, but there are not 33 teams yet. But I'm going to start number 32 in Big C's NFL universe rankings. The Detroit Lions, they are 0-6. And last week they lost to Cincinnati 34-11. I actually thought they would win that game. And because they're both animals, I'm going to say this segment sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meats? A lion and a bingo tire are exotic meats. So the Lions head coach Dan Campbell was left in tears, gut-wrenching, last-second loss to the Vikings, and then goes down to play against Cincinnati. They just get knocked around. The Bengals, I'm telling you, they went into Detroit and they beat them up 250 yards of offensive quarterback. Jared Goff was barely cracked the 200-yard passing mark. Passing rating is 67. The Lions have a tough year ahead of them. Wish them nothing but the best as all friend level. Number 31, the reason they're not number 32 is because we have Detroit. It's all fair and level work. The Houston Texans 1-5 on the season. They lost at Indianapolis 31-3. Houston Texans, they're imploding, guys. Houston, we have a problem. The Texans now have lost 5 straight games, and a couple of those games, they were close, especially the game against New England, but they let it get away. You want to crowd them, but they're not the worst team. Jacksonville, can you believe the Jacksonville are 1-5? Give them some praise. Give Urban Meyer some praise. Give that man some praise. Last week they won versus Miami. They went over to England across the pond. They won 23-20 over Miami. Their losing streak is over. It turns out the Jacksonville Jaguars needed the third longest losing streak in the NFL history to get that chain sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? And a dolphin and a jaguar our exotic meats. They had to go about 4,000 miles to the east, and when you think about it, 319 yards passing from Trevor Lawrence, 101 total yards from running back James Robinson, a 100-yard receiving effort by Marvin Jones, and a 53-yard field goal as time expired gives them the win. Congratulations, all fair and level. They were outgained by Miami, 431 to 396, so pretty close games. Both teams have a lot of work to do on defense. Number 29 in the Big C NFL universe, the New York Jets. Jets. Yeah, they're 1-4. And Saleh's going to have to build that team. They had a bye week. There was little question that rookie quarterback Zach Wilson going to have his work cut out for him. Going to have some ups and downs with the New York Jets in 2021. Wilson has averaged less than 224 yards passing per game. Not that good. He's posted a bad passer rating of 63. So things got to get better for the Jets. And they probably will. They'll probably win 4 games this year. Number 28, it's time for New York. Start spreading the news. I'm reading today. Is going to be a part of it. New York, if I can. Come on, guys. Make it there. I'll make it. Sing it with me. Anywhere is up to you. New York. Isn't that something? The Giants and the Jets, they cracked Big C's top, the lower bottom of the 28 best teams in the NFL. They're number 28 and 29. The Giants are 1-5. Last week, they were eaten up by the Los Angeles Rams, 38-11. It's no big secret the New York Giants, not a good football team. They need Michael Strahan back, and they even need Eli Manning to come back. You know, at least with Eli Manning, they had a chance. They need those good, but they need Amani Toomer to come back. It's all fair and level war. But over the first 5 weeks of 2021, quarterback Daniel Jones and Cam Newton can't get a job. And Colin Kaepernick can't even get a tryout. But Daniel Jones has them roaring along at 1-5. Didn't the season just start? They're 1-5. All fair and level war. If that's what they want, that's what they got. Change the Big Apple to the Big C. Change the Big Apple to the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? It's not that many letters to change. Big Apple, Big C burger. It's all fair in level war. Number 27, Washington football team. 2-4 this season, lost to Kansas City 31-13. They have plenty of players, and think about it. They have a lot of guys that just failed to meet their expectations on the season. And you would think that they were just bringing in Cam Newton, but Ron Rivera said he's happy with the quarterbacks that he has now, losing after losing. It's a kind of a clue. He's got his COVID vaccine, supposedly. Why not go get a guy that took you to your only Super Bowl? Because sometimes people just don't understand. It's all fair and level war. I think Washington has this problem. After giving up 500 yards of offense to Kansas City, Washington surrendered 423 yards per game. That's second most in the league because they can't keep the defense off the field. They get tired. The team has allowed over 30 points in 5 straight games. That ranks dead last in the National Football League, and they won't bring in Cam Newton. Cam. Defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio called the criticism of the defense predictable. It's because their offense can't keep the field. They can't keep the defense off the field. Number 26 in Big C's NFL power rankings. The Atlanta Falcons are 2-3. They had a bye week. A lot hasn't gone right for the Falcons over the first 6 weeks of 2021, except the play of running back Cordell Patterson. Most of the professional career, Patterson was a pretty good kick returner, part-time receiver. His career high receiving yards, 469 yards as rookie with the Minnesota Vikings in 2013. But things have gone downhill. I think Atlanta is having 2 wins at this juncture of the season is not as bad as people thought they would be. So they have a hill that they can climb, especially in the NFC South. Number 25, the Miami Dolphins. They are 1-5 on the season. What in the world happened to the Dolphins? Really? They lost to Jacksonville, the ball team. For Christ's sake, they lost to Jacksonville, for Christ's sake. 23-20, and they were so bad they kicked them out of the state of Florida to do it. You know you got to be bad to get kicked out of Florida. They don't believe in COVID anything. Ron DeSantis, that joke. Anyway, it's all fair and level war. But the Dolphins, they returned from injured reserve. The second-year quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. Man, bringing Deshaun Watson, there's rumor he wants to go there anyway. 329 yards, 2 touchdowns against Jacksonville, guys. Come on, they hadn't won a game since last year. So they outgained the Jaguars by about 35 yards, but still, Miami's not playing the way we thought they'd play. Philadelphia, number 24 in Big C's power rankings. Number 24, and they are 2-4 on the season. That's a nice pun. Last week they lost to Tampa 28-22. They're not as bad as they look. The Eagles, some people feel they're a hot mess. I don't think so. They showed some signs of improvement over the first month. They lost to the defending Super Bowl champions 28-22. That says they're doing some things right. They got to show some signs of improvement. They get a chance to play the Raiders coming up. We'll see what happens. The Eagles had 213 total yards. Did not surpass 100 yards of offense until the fourth quarter. They got to get that figured out. At the same time, come on, Tampa Bay is a pretty good team. Number 23, Indianapolis Colts. They're 2-4. They beat Houston 31-3. Not a lot for fans in Indianapolis to cheer about. 2021, they had a crushing loss to the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens came back and kicked won it in overtime. But think about it. 31-3 over Houston. Carson Wentz played decent, 223 yards, 2 scores. Running back Jonathan Taylor had a great game. 145 yards, got his chest in the win. And 2 touchdowns. Got 2 touchdowns. Once you start getting one, you're able to get a second one. And then also T.Y. Hilton is back. All 4 of his targets for 80 yards. So that's a sign in the right direction. We just got to see how it turns out. Number 22, Minnesota Vikings. They're 3-3. Won at Carolina, 34-28. In overtime, I predicted them to win that game. When I think about it, outlasting Carolina in overtime in Week 6, the Vikings have rebounded from a 1-3 start. They're back at 500, tied for second place in the NFC North. We know that's going to go to Green Bay. And so for Sunday's win was a Vikings offense that piled up 571 yards. They were doing their thing in Carolina. Going to go to number 21 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings. Give the Chicago Bears some praise. Give them some praise. Yeah, even though they lost to Green Bay, a lot of people lose to Green Bay. It was 24-14 for the Bears. All that matters at the moment is the team lost at home to the rival Packers in Week 6 to fall 2 games back in the NFC North. But the Bears weren't going to challenge the Packers in the division anyway. The best they can do is just kind of play above 500. New quarterback in the Windy City, Justin Fields, going to do his thing. Has a way to go to develop, but it's all fair and level. We're 16-27, 174 yards. It's just a bump in the road, but Chicago's going to be okay. They're going to build on a good defense. I believe that talk about Aaron Rodgers owning the town, maybe he does, but right now it still belongs to the city of Chicago. Number 20 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings, the Seattle Seahawks. They're 2-4. There's no Russell Wilson, so don't expect a lot from the Seahawks. Lost 23-20 at Pittsburgh in overtime. On the road, they put up a good fight. It's a tough thing to say about a team in Week 6. The Seahawks are not like other teams toward the bottom. They're at least where they're supposed to be. This was a team that's supposed to contend for the top spot in the NFL's toughest division to challenge for Super Bowl 56. But without Russell Houdini Wilson and running back Chris Carson, they're on the injured reserve. Won't be back for at least a few weeks. Seattle's going to have a tough swing at it. Number 19, a team that I thought was going to challenge for the NFL championship, but they had so many injuries. The San Francisco 49ers, Northern California's finest. There's Northern California's only team. Now, we can think about it, had a bye week after 3 straight losses. The 49ers faced a boatload of questions coming in out of the bye week. That loss to Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers drove them in 37 seconds. Crosby kicked the field goal to win. It was over 50 yards. That kind of took a little bit of the sell out of the win. But they also played Arizona close. Okay? Just my opinion on the road. Arizona's a top team in the league right now. No shortage of people believe that Trey Lance is going to have a back. He's going to have a good year. I think he's going to turn things around. They're going to get Jimmy G back soon. Hopefully they can go in and out of the huddle together. Give Kyle Shanahan some time to build that offense again, coming out of some injuries. Number 18 in Big C's NFL Power Universe, the Denver Broncos. They're 3-3. They lost to the Raiders 34-24. There was a time when the Broncos were 3-0, but not so fast, my friend. Especially difficult when you think about why the Broncos lost to the Raiders on Sunday. The team was a mess on both sides of the ball. Offense, the Broncos turned it over 4 times. You can't turn it over 4 times and win. And think about it. Teddy Bridgewater had 3 interceptions. On defense, the team had little answers for the Raiders. allowing 426 yards. 340 yards through the air. Touchdown, Derek Carr was carving them up. Now they have a Thursday night matchup in Cleveland between the Browns and the Broncos. Both of these teams have really turned upside down their expectations. Number 17, Big C's NFL Universe, Carolina Panthers 3-3. They lost to the Vikings 38-24 in overtime. They're struggling. They roared out of the gate with 3 straight victories to open the season. The Panthers dropped 3 in a row after falling in overtime to the Vikings last week. With running back Christian McCaffrey on the shelf, why does Christian McCaffrey make more money than a touchdown Derrick Henry? Doesn't make any freaking sense. Not at all. But it's okay. It's all fair and love and war. The results haven't been pretty good. Sam Darnold just 17 of 41 passing. Ouch. And Cam Newton can't get a job. Passer rating 55. And Cam Newton can't get a job. Bring in Colin Kaepernick. At least let the guys try out. The Panthers defense was carved up. 571 yards allowed. Matt Rule said, well, we don't know what hit us. Yeah. Number 16, Big C's NFL Power Rankings. The New England Patriots, they're 2-4. I guess that shows you that Tom Brady wasn't the reason they won so many games. Yeah, right. I mean, Belichick's still a great coach. They lost to Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys 35-29 in overtime. The Patriots poll a title that no team wants. Is probably the best 2-4 team in the universe right now. When you think about it, they had a hard time beating Houston. They gave a one-loss Dallas Cowboy team all they could handle, and just like in Week 4, New England couldn't seal the deal. I was saying they would not make the playoffs when they went in with Mac Jones as a quarterback. They could have had Cam Newton, and they'd probably be 4-2. But they like 2-4 instead because they like Mac Jones, what he looks like. The Patriots should be able to get back within a game of 500 next week. They play the Jets. But then again, that stretch is going to define the 2021 season. The Chargers in Los Angeles will be a tall order, not going to win. They are capable of taking down the Panthers and the Browns, but they messed up when they got rid of Cam Newton. That's the way it is. I'm going to say number 15 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings, the Las Vegas Raiders, all fair and love and war. They won a 34-24 win over Denver. It's been quite a tough season for the Raiders. They got rid of a guy that doesn't like anybody but himself, and John Gruden. The crowd cheered. The autumn wind was a Raider. Got rid of John Gruden. After winning 3 in a row to start the season, the Raiders dropped 2 straight. And head coach John Gruden decided he doesn't like anybody who doesn't look like him. That's all fair and love and war. But the Raiders, they showed that they have a lot of moxie when they came back and went on the road and got a big win in Denver. Think about it. Las Vegas on both sides of the ball. Derek Carr threw for 341 yards, 2 scores. The Raiders defense picked off Teddy Bridgewater 3 times, and they sacked him 5 times. Isn't that something? So the Raiders have a chance to make a nice run now that they got that junk. They got the stink out of the locker room. They flushed the toilet, if that makes sense to you. With the Eagles and Giants on deck, they could go to 6-2. Just keep that in mind. Pittsburgh, they're 3-3. Something about the Steelers. 23-20 over Seattle. No Russell Wilson. The Halloween Pittsburgh Steelers doing their best impersonation of Jason Voorhees. This team will not go away. They're still trying to find a way to win. The Steelers are a 500 team heading into the bye week. And you just got to, someone's doing his thing. He always has. I mean, everybody likes him. Tomlin will always find a way to win. I think Big Ben Roethlisberger still has a lot to prove to nobody but himself that he can still play. T.J. Watt said the Steelers are going to stay within shouting distance of the Ravens. That's all they're going to stay, shouting distance, because that's about all they're going to get is shouting distance, because the Ravens are the real deal. Pittsburgh, they fit this very definition of being like 50% good with Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit, the Chargers, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Ravens. After the bye week, going to be tough to finish off at 500. Number 13 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings, Cleveland. This is for you. They're 3-3. They got beat down by Arizona 34-14, actually 37-14. And it's like, Cleveland, here we are again. There's some talk that Baker Mayfield is going to be worth $35 million a year. I ask you why. Really, why? It's all fair and love and war. Star running back Nick Chubb already on the shelf for the calf industry. Hunt was carried to the cart from the field. If they don't have a strong running game, Cleveland's not going to have a good year. They played Denver Thursday night. It's possible Cleveland could be without its top 2 running backs. And Denver's not as bad as some people think, but we'll see. New Orleans Saints, they're 3-2. Number 12 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings. Had a bye week. When you think about this team, I don't know what to say about New Orleans right now. 3 interceptions. And Winston's completion percentage is 60%. It's not that high, but 27-year-old hasn't thrown for 4 times as many touchdowns as interceptions so far this season. Passer rating 108. That's a career high for him. But I don't know about the Saints yet. It won't take long to find out how good Winston is, as the Buccaneers will be playing them pretty soon after playing the injury-ravaged Seahawks in Week 7. New Orleans is going to host Tampa Bay on Halloween. Might get your pumpkins ready. Get your pumpkins ready if that makes sense to you. Number 11 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings. Tennessee Titans are 4-2. They won versus Buffalo 34-31. It was touchdown Henry. Touchdown Henry. Touchdown Henry. He's going all the way. I'm telling you, the Titans 3-2 and first place in the AFC South. This team, I'm telling you, you got to take them serious because they have touchdown Derrick Henry. And that good above whenever he's running the football, you always got a chance to win. Nobody cares. You got touchdown Henry running, doing the ball in his hand. It's not that heavy of a ball. The Titans could easily have lost the game. Sean McDermott's decision to go for it on, I think it was 4th and inches, less than a minute to go. The left tackle got blown up on the play. They also had they could have been a chip shot field goal to force overtime, but they were trying to win. The Bills team spanked the Chiefs in Kansas City last week, and the Titans got a chance to knock that team off, so maybe they were still riding high. But you got touchdown Derrick Henry, you're going to win. Number 10 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings, Cincinnati Bengals are 4-2. They won at Detroit 34-11, and I mean, it was Detroit for all places. It was brought by the Big C Burger, Tasty Burger, that comes with, what's all this exotic meats? And a Bengal tiger and a lion are exotic meats. On offense, Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase. They look good together, like Rice to Young, or Young to Rice. It's all fair and low. Montana to Rice, Rice to Young. However you like it, you have a good decision. Burrow to Chase, Burrow to Chase. Burrow to Chase. That's how they win. And maybe just snip the playoff. Joe Mixon had 150 yards total offense, but it was against Detroit. They held the Lions to 228 yards of offense. All fair and level work. Number 9 in Big C's NFL Power Rankings, the Los Angeles Chargers. Give them some praise. They are 4-2. They lost to Baltimore 31-6. That was a speed bump. It was an early game, and they went 3,000 miles to do it. But think about it. The Bolts made a statement by being at this point of the season. From the opening kickoff to the final play, the Chargers would dominate both sides of the ball. It was just a game they were probably going to lose when the season put together the schedule. It was a sobering come to Jesus moment for the Chargers. It's like they were hit by a lightning bolt. You ever been struck by a lightning bolt and lived to tell about it? That's what happened to the Chargers. Number 8, Big C's NFL Power Rankings, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, they beat up on the Washington football team 31-13. And when you think about it, it was a big win after being knocked out by Buffalo the prior game. Running back Darrell Williams scored 2 touchdowns in relief for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Patrick Mahomes threw for 400 yards on a pair of touchdowns. Also tossed 2 more interceptions. One was a tip ball that wasn't his fault. But they have, 14 giveaways for the season, most in the NFL. Andy Reid knows they got to fix that. You got Patrick Mahomes, you're going to fix it. The Chiefs still featured the game's second-ranked offense. 506 total yards of offense against Washington. That says all you need to know. Number 7, Big C's NFL Power Rankings. The Green Bay Packers, they are 5-1 with a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, 21-14 over the Bears. And granted, Sunday's win over the Bears wasn't the prettiest of wins, but Aaron Rodgers threw less than 200 yards. But they got the win. The Packers are just 2 of 8 on third down. But Green Bay's defense, they limited the Bears to 277 yards. It was touchdown Aaron Rodgers. Devontae Adams made enough plays to leave Soldier Field with a 10-point win. Give him some praise for winning on the road, especially at Chicago. Number 6 in the NFL, Big C's NFL football universe. I'm going to bring it to, man, people may not like what I'm going to say, but number 6, in my opinion, the Buffalo Bills. They lost to Tennessee at 34-31, and they were maybe exposed a little bit to a strong running team. They just come off of a big win over Kansas City, but Buffalo coach Sean McDermott's decision to get rid of it, not kicking the field goal and try to go to overtime. I like his moxie. The Bills lost because they had no answer for a touchdown. Derrick Henry, 143 yards on a 76-yard to the house. That's why they didn't get it done. I'm going to bring it down to a couple of more teams that's in Big C's power rankings. So I bring the Buffalo Bills in. I think some people think they should be higher. I don't think they should be higher. That's just my opinion. I'm going to go next is the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to bring them at the number 5 team in Big C's NFL power rankings, 35-29 over New England. What a tough win. And they did it on the road. They were running away the NFC East. After beating up the Patriots in Week 6, the Cowboys are just one win off of last season's total. The offense is legit with Dak Prescott doing his thing. Quarterback Trevon Diggs might be Defensive Player of the Year. Looks like a Deion Sanders, maybe. Maybe Deion Sanders. Prime time? Not really, but maybe. The Cowboys have off week on in Week 7 to get their quarterback ready. Dak Prescott, if anyone questions whether he's the real deal, you got to watch more football. The Cowboys are legit. I'm going to bring you in the Baltimore Ravens at what about number 4, okay? They are 5-1 on the season. They won versus the Chargers 34-6. It was the marquee matchup of the day outside of Cleveland and Arizona. 2 4-1 teams. Baltimore looks like the real deal. They're going to win their division. The Ravens are amazing. Playing against the Chargers offense that dropped to 47 points on Cleveland Browns the week before. The Ravens absolutely dominant defense. Baltimore allowed just 208 yards of offense and 6 points. Give that defense some praise. Give them praise. I like Superman Jackson. The Ravens were a juggernaut on the ground, had 187 yards, 38 attempts. And it's just Superman Jackson legitimate. They can chant MVP all they want. They can chant it all they want. I'm going to bring in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-1 on the season. They beat Philadelphia. The close game that people thought, 28-22. Tom Brady did his thing. Very efficient game Thursday night. Extended his record as the NFL's all-time leading passer. 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, and they're a good team. He's 44 years old, and he's amazing at what he's doing at that age. I'm telling you, he could really play another 2 or 3 years. It's all friend level work. If they keep him healthy, there's no question Tampa Bay's offense is firing all cylinders, especially running back Leonard Fournette on a hot streak the past couple of games. And that's just a good team. You can't say anything bad about Tampa. People think they're supposed to win every game by 2 touchdowns. That's not going to happen in this league. You're not going to win every game by 2 touchdowns. But those good boys got it done. So I have them right there teetering, tied at number 3. I'm going to put them and maybe just Baltimore in that same kind of category. It's just my opinion. But I'm going to bring you to the top 2 in the NFL. And people don't have to like it. But I'm going to say the Los Angeles Rams. Give the Rams some praise. Everybody wins in L.A. They're 5-1 on the season. They won at New York, the Giants, 38-11. Summit Bay's Rams have never lost a game when leading at halftime. The streak's not about to end Sunday against the overmatched New York Giants. It didn't happen. I mean, they beat the Giants down pretty soundly. Cooper Kupp, 130 yards receiving. Running back Darrell Henderson had 107 yards of total yards and 2 touchdowns on his own. The Rams put the clamps on Daniel Jones and the Giants, and Cam Newton can't get a job. New York had 261 yards of offense. The Rams forced 4 turnovers and did not let the Giants into the end zone until garbage time. The Rams are, think about it, if they're not 7-1 when the Titans come to town November 7th, it'll be a massive letdown. But think about this too. They're probably not going to be an underdog when they go to Lambeau Field November 28th. Think about that. That's a game that I can't wait to see. Number 1 in the NFL universe, Arizona Cardinals. They're 6-0. They beat Cleveland. This is for you. Yeah, they beat Cleveland 37-14. Arizona Cardinals, they blasted Cleveland in Week 6. And they had a staff completed, but they had COVID-19 all over the place. Didn't matter. They faced a quality opponent in Cleveland on the road. They beat the Browns down. They converted 8 of 15 third downs and got 4 touchdown passes from touchdown quarterback. His name is now Touchdown Kyler Murray. Touchdown Kyler Murray do this thing. The Cardinals gave up just 290 total yards. They beat up on Baker Mayfield, 5 sacks and forced 3 turnovers. It's not all on Baker, but he's the guy that has the ball in his hand every snap, and he couldn't get out of the way. So the Cardinals could be 7-0 for the second time in franchise history when they welcome Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay on Thursday night. So that's my opinion about Big C's Power 30. Give me some praise. That's all 32 teams in the NFL. It's all fair and level work. I wish everybody nothing but the best. Stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. And thank you for that funding that's on its way, all fair and level work. Back in the day, There's a man by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man, and he would always tell Ali, with all you've got to lose, how can you lose? Flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee, rumble, young man, mungo. What do you do with all those exotic meats? Ali would always say, I'm pretty. I'm so pretty I can't possibly be beat. These Big C burgers make me light on my feet. I float like a butterfly and I sting like a bee so I can rumble, young man, rumble. I love what Ali stood for. Always rumbling, always rumbling. As my beautiful mother says, there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. Any man, woman, or child going through that garbage, pick up the phone and ask for help, because no man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. So as we always tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a lot of Big C burgers. Excuse me, producer. A super fantastic day. What's all this exotic meats?